How to store and haul gear is always a popular topic. We're going to show you one method that we found that might just work out well for you too.
Rooftop storage boxes.
We're not big fans of hauling stuff on our roof. That's the main reason why we don't use a rooftop tent. But sometimes it's necessary to make room in the interior, like when our daughter volunteers to come on an adventure with us.
We're going to explain why we chose the cases that we did, and we'll show you all of the details of how we made a relatively quick attachment for our roof rack bars,
along with links to the cases and all the hardware we used. This is Wanderlust Overland. Get to there.
Let me see it.
No, get your own.
I want to see.
No, get your own.
These are actually made to transport rifles. They come in a wide variety of length, width, and depth. This one measures 46.5 by 18 by 7.25. Like most cases like this, it has an O-ring seal to make it waterproof, an automatic valve to equalize interior pressure to the outside. And they come full of foam that we can customize to hold anything that we end up putting in them. Sometimes these cases have latches that are really tough to open, but this one has a lever type latch that makes it a little easier.
We mounted our cases on our Southern style off-road roof rack, but this method will fit on virtually any roof rack that has this type of crossbar. When designing how we wanted to mount them, we took two things into consideration. Number one, safety in the event of an accident. If, heaven forbid, Mary hits another cow, we don't want these to shear off and become projectiles. Number two, this being a daily driver, we wanted the ability to easily get them on and off.
What we came up with is a secure front mount that wraps around the crossbar. Then the rear drops down over threaded studs, reinforcement bars inside, and 3 big wing nuts to hold it in place. Part numbers, links, and descriptions of all the hardware we used are in the video description below.
Starting with the front. This is a piece of aluminum Z-channel. It measures 1 inch right here. We put self-adhesive rubber strips on it to help protect the finish on our rack. Because of these feet that are molded into the case, we had to add a 1/4 inch spacer between our mount and the case. For ours, we used a stiff rubber. Actually, it's a mud flap, but you can use any kind of plastic or even aluminum. Now, when we added this piece of rubber to the underside of our Z bracket, we reduced this distance by 1/16 of an inch. Now it won't fit on our crossbars very well. So we had to make a spacer that goes right here out of some 1/16 inch aluminum. This is held together with 1/4 inch by 1 inch stainless bolts and lock nuts. Now the only hard part about this is drilling holes through a waterproof case that costs $150.
Wait, $150?
What? The rear attachment point is a lot simpler. We start with 3 of these T-slot nuts. Into them we screw these 1/4 inch by 1 inch stainless steel set screws. And that slides into the end of our crossbar channel. Now once you get these set screws put right where you want them, go back and tighten them down with an Allen wrench. Now when we don't have the boxes up here, we're going to cover up these studs with these black caps. Just like the front, we need a 1/4 inch spacer back here too. Now we made a tiny mark on our crossbar with a white paint marker, and that's going to line up with the edge of our Z channel. That way we know it's going to go down in the right place, so the studs in the back line up and it drops right on. Reinforcement bar goes on, and we'll hold it down with some big wing nuts. And that is not going anywhere.
These are gonna come in really handy.
And since the roof rack crossbars are equally spaced, we can move them forward or back wherever we need them.
If this is your first time watching one of our videos and you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified. That sounds naughty. That sounds naughty.
I know it.
Then the rear drops down over. We're going to show you, no. We're going to explain to you. What are
we going to do?
We're going to explain to you why we chose the cases that we did, and we'll show you all of the details of how we made a relatively simple attachment for our roof rack bars. Almost.
Close. So close.